I wanted to ask you, you told a little story about Eastman Kodak, and maybe it's just my inability to follow, but was Mr. Owen on the different side?
No. They came. This was John Doerr had done nothing wrong. He had it wasn't Junior, he was a partner, who got off the reservation and got into trouble for it. And I speculate that it was difficult to take charge as a general of many troops when you didn't have a real war going on, and that Malin was. I don't know enough about it because I wasn't involved in it. Bob Owen was asked. That can't be chance that he was the one who was asked to defend or work on the defense with Malin Perkins. It's something that John Doerr obviously would do, given his respect for Bob and his concern about the well-being of Malin Perkins, which he was. I think it's Malin Perkins. But I just came away from it with a sense that you couldn't operate in a peacetime army the way you could operate with a wartime army. And I think we in the civil rights were wartime armies. I think that I can't remember offhand another thing that John has done which I could compare with a wartime enemy, wartime soldier, wartime army. And I don't know how effective what he used, I think with great success, with us in the wartime army, where we would, right turn, we made a right turn, left turn. I don't think he would be as successful trying that, using that method of leadership in a peacetime army. And it was probably wrong of me to bring Malin Perkins into it because it may have had to do with something completely different. But I do believe that his, from the top down, non-coddle the troops approach is something that worked particularly well there, but would be hard to adapt to another
peacetime.
kind of peacetime.
Just so that, again, so
Yeah.
that it's understandable, Perkins must have been a lawyer.
Oh yes,
So he was a lawyer in the firm, a partner of the firm,
Sorry.
who had gotten into trouble, and Doerr should have been watching what he was doing a little bit more closely.
No, I don't mean that. That's unlikely to be John's problem. I think the problem was he may have covered up because he would rather cover up than have to tell John what I'm speculating. But there was something that about Malin Perkins was an older guy. And if you're going to lead a bunch of partners, it doesn't work to tell them, because they will start working at themselves. They're trained to do that. In a peacetime army, you're kind of trained to, I guess, maybe not a peacetime army. There was just not this ability. It's not a question of, I'm sure John was in touch with the details, as he always is. But there were certain things that John would have assumed that orders were followed. He would have assumed, again, as I try to explain it, I get further and further away from the facts, which is really what I should be starting with, and I'm not. So it's speculation, but I still, what I was trying to point out is that there are people, he was a Patton type, I guess you might say, and General Patton, yeah. And I'm not sure what happens it's tough to be patent type in 1948 or 49, which he never got to be.
Would you say that he was? You mentioned the fact that he preferred to receive information on paper.
Yeah.
Was that because he avoided?
No. Whatever it is, it was time. He was looking for efficiency. He was looking for. I never had at all the sense that if I said, "John, can I come and talk to you?" that I couldn't talk to him. There was nothing about that. He didn't like the personal interaction. I didn't have that feeling at all. I don't think he treasured it. He's not the kind of person who wandered around like Henry V, amongst his troops before the battle. But on the other hand, I don't think he was. He avoided personal contact. He had a whole lot of stuff to do, and he was. We should explain for the tape that for no reason at all we've been sitting here taping it. All of a sudden,
and all of a sudden,
the camera has come down, and a screen has come down, and we have no idea.
And we have no idea why. And the camera continues to come down, and it has stopped. And
Good.
At a certain point, there will be a word from our sponsor.
Yes, exactly.
There would be a switch on the wall over there that does that, right?
Yes, somebody in the other room must
Is there a
have.
Well, we will wrap up very soon because fortunately nothing. But now we get a digital projection.
That was so pretty.
Yeah, but it's actually getting worse.
I think there's poltergeist involved.
These rooms are all connected, someone in another room.
Uh-huh.
Projector's going on.
Yes. Can we turn the projector off?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who has the projector off.
Oh, it's happening in their room too.
Well, we didn't do anything to
We didn't,
precipitate it that we know of.
Can you see the projection?
No,
No, okay, well then let's not worry.
This is a magic act.
This is
You
a
see,
magic-
my camera
Yeah.
has been on me all this time, and I managed to do it
and now
anyhow.
there's a total distraction.
Yeah,
And
it doesn't make any difference.
it
except
makes
the
no
noise-
difference.
The noise was the only problem.
well, that was the music.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, there are always surprises in this business. Are there, to get back to, that's actually the ghost of Eastman Kodak, but that's a different story. Are there any stories that we've missed?
Sure, but I don't know what they are. I would have
Well,
told
that
you. There's a time I went-
that you thought about and wanted to be sure that we included.
If I can look at a note for a
Sure
second.
you can, of course.
Because I can't believe we haven't done everything. Oh, yeah. Just one thing. Because it's about my mother, and I always like to talk about my mother, my late mother. As I've told you, quite explicitly, and in a sense, it really is kind of important to understand my comments in this context, and that is that my mother told the story. Oh no, it starts out just a little other than that. It starts out with the fact that, as I mentioned rather recently, I swore that I said it wasn't fun, and also I wouldn't read anything about it for 5 years, 10 years, and I didn't do anything except decided I should go back and look. I didn't read it all. Just shuffle through my papers, and look at the report, and look at some Cutler, which I did. His book, Wars of Watergate, and all of these things were just words to me, like the Houston Plan and Operation Gemstone and Deep Six and all. Those are words that I remember, but it's the first time that I've ever been in a position, that I ever have in fact gone back and looked at. The first time I have ever looked at, not going back, first time I've ever looked at the whole thing from from the early 70s and through the special prosecutor and Irvin and what we were doing, and all at the same. I mean, the whole story briefly, but the whole story, including the whole story of what not my group personally, but the staff was working on. Most of that we would talk about it, and words would come up, and it was familiar, but without context, because that's not what I was doing. And so for the first time ever, I have some sense of the whole. And the story that came back to me, I hadn't remembered in years, just a tale, is that my mother once talked about the tuba player in an orchestra in New York City, good orchestra. And tuba player had a week off once. So what does he choose to do? He goes over to Carnegie Hall and watches the Philadelphia Symphony Orchestra and a concert. He comes home and his wife says, gee, how did you like that? And he says, it was wonderful. Do you know, in Mahler's First, they did Mahler's First, and the place where I'm going, oompa, 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 they're playing very beautiful music in the orchestra.
Oh, come on. You're killing it.
All right, so you tell us when we have speed. I'm
Right.
going to rescue the judge.
Speeding.
Get back to the mother story.
You
Wait.
Okay. All right, your story.
I'm
please.
sorry. This will sound familiar to you since we were in the middle of it when the shades started going up and down. But I was saying about this, my mother's story about the guy in the orchestra who goes on his day off to see a Mahler concert, Mahler's First Symphony, and he comes home and his wife says, how was it? And he said, it's absolutely wonderful. I had a wonderful time. He says, do you know in that Mahler, when I keep playing pa pa, pa pa, the rest of the orchestra is making this beautiful music. And I had the same feeling that for me to have remembered my pa pa all this time, and then to come back and put it into context and have it be a real story with my umpas very helpful in the background. It's been a kind of a unusual treat for me. And thank you for making me do it.
Last two questions. What do you remember of your reaction when you heard that the president was resigning?
Oh. As with me, I'll give you a slightly extended story because you'll see why you be your own judge. When I was 5 years old, I was exactly 5 years old. It was the summer of 1945. My father was stationed in Fort Knox, and I was there. And the A-bomb was dropped in early August. And I remember however it was nursery school, kindergarten, and must have been doing it because I had a piece of paper, and there was I drew a 5-year-old's picture of a bomb, and it had an A on it because it was the atomic bomb. And people have argued a lot about the morality of the bomb and whether it was a good thing to use or a bad thing to use. I mean, whether it's inhumane, whether we had to do it, what its results were. But when the bomb was dropped, my reaction as a 5-year-old, and I'm sure my family was, we're going home. And I must say my reaction when the president resigned, first one was, we're going home. We've done our job, it's done, it's finished. Not we won, I don't think. Yeah, but most personally it was that, my God, we've done it. We've done what we set out to do. It's a package. It's done. And no sense of vindication because he left the way he left. That I remember. How did I in fact feel at the time? Is this the way I wish I had felt rather than the way I did feel? But my sense was relief that the kind of the hi-ho silver away at the end of a Lone Ranger thing, or Yukon King. I used to listen to this as a kid. our job is done. It was a nice pack. And I left Washington, I think, within a week after that. We were finished. Didn't mean I didn't miss these people. I arranged not to miss the people, but it had been so hard on me and my family, and but to suggest that it wasn't personal about him, it was personal about me.
How did you feel when President Ford pardoned?
I thought it was a good idea. To use, I guess, to use, I think it was the president's own phrase is, let's not wallow in Watergate. Maybe I had been through the same story too often. I didn't like seeing what had been done to him, and this is kind of something he says in the tapes about himself. I just thought he had been through so much. He had so much punishment. People knew the facts. He now argues he didn't want to accept the pardon because he never got a chance to defend himself. The fact is, people knew what happened. It wasn't just being pardoned. It wasn't like him pardoning the people, the Watergate burglars before, at the outset. So my own feeling was I was happy about it. When I first heard it, and to tell the truth now, all in all, I think that was the right thing to do.
Was it hard for you to be impartial about Richard Nixon?
No. That doesn't mean I like the man. That doesn't mean I voted for the man. But I think, gosh, I hope other people agree with this assessment of myself. But I think, and I particularly given my present position, I don't think I find it that terribly hard to be impartial about somebody who I'm not partial to. And I had again, I don't know where John Doerr was at the moment of either one. I certainly don't remember other people gloating. It was a kind of a sense of satisfaction. We'd done our job and we're going home. And I thought that we really did. Here's a new president. I do remember that I was very pleased when I heard, we were literally at a stop on the driving home when we heard on the radio at the stop there that he was appointing Rockefeller as his vice president. And that made me very happy because he was kind of a non-partisan at that time compared to everything else. The idea of moving away from this partisanship, I couldn't bear to watch the poor man go through what he would have gone through if it was tried. I just couldn't bear it.
Judge Sack, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. I appreciate your having me revisit those remarkable days again.